All right, what up? What up? What up? How is everybody doing? Welcome to a late night postseason edition of 27 Outs. You don't hear that too often on the channel, right? As always, I am Ivan alongside Stefan. Wow, folks. I was thinking that, and obviously, we're going to get into everything that we want to discuss, as you guys could already tell by the title of tonight's video. But in terms of this game 3, Stefan, between the Red Sox and the Yankees, I genuinely thought that, we were going to come in here with a lot to say, on both ends, right? Both the Yankee side and the Red Sox side. And despite the Red Sox losing tonight, it's not that we can't get into how things turned out for them, of course, right? But I certainly didn't see them going out the way that they did today. And what I mean by that is not scoring a run at all. But yo, shout out to the 24-year-old man, that boy Killer Cam. Yo, take it away, Stephen, because I was not expecting this.
Hey man, I wasn't either. Yo, listen, pardon me, guys, if the voice sounds a little funnier than usual. You know what I was doing. I was screaming like I was in the building. All right. Because I'm a highly emotional dude. On the show, I'm laid back, I'm calm, I give you the real reasoning. But this guy, I'm gonna say something crazy. Cam Schlittler is how does it feel to feel wrong? It feels wonderful. How's everybody doing on a random uh Thursday night? It feels wonderful to feel wrong. What I will say though is Cam Schlittler had this game under control from pitch one. And I will tell you this. He reminded me, I don't know if you remember this, but I had flashbacks of Roger Clemens in Seattle in 2000 when he struck out 16 Mariners and made it look easy. This was the most dominant pitching performance I've seen from a Yankee starter since probably CC in the 2009 playoffs. This was like CC-esque. This is like Ace-esque. This is Garrett Cole at his peak-esque, right?
Right.
And the Red Sox just looked helpless up there. Everybody from
Hmm.
Bregman to Story to anybody that Cora threw up there, they looked helpless. And what I will say is, it finally felt like Aaron Boone is finding his managerial flow, right? Because how many times in previous seasons would you see him pull Cam Schlittler after the seventh and go, "Nah, you good, you done enough."
Right.
He said, "Nah, young fella, you going back out there and you're finishing this job."
The deeper Cam went into tonight's game, at first, I was coming to an early conclusion when it comes to the Boston Red Sox. And I had thought like, yo, maybe they gave everything they had in both games 1 and 2, right?
Yeah,
And I don't even think it was that, because the deeper he got into the game,
the better he
obviously
was.
going 8 strong, I was like, yeah, I don't even think, even if the Red Sox were on their A game, could they touch this guy tonight?
Listen, bro, this is all you needed to know, right? Like, he was throwing 99 in the eighth inning. His last pitch, I think, was 100. I'm talking about miles per hour. But the thing that I liked about him is that his facial expression did not change from pitch
Yeah.
one to the very end. It was the same, right? The thing that I was worried about, me personally, I'm not speaking for you, and you can get into this yourself, is young pitchers in the playoffs. It kind of tends to speed up on them. How many times we've seen a young pitcher where you start realizing, damn, that's you know what I'm saying? It'll speed up on you, and the game will be over by the time you know it. Listen, look at what the Padres did in their series against the Cubs.
Right.
Like the Padres, Dylan Cease was out of the game by the fourth inning. They had so many question marks about what are we going to do to get to the ninth inning, and credit Alex Cora for doing it in game one, letting Garrett Crochet empty the tank and give the best performance he could. But it's like the last two games, Aaron Boone kind of did what Alex Cora usually does to other managers.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna let my best players be on the field. I'm gonna let my guys decide it. Whatever happens, happens, and I gotta live with the result. But Cam Schlittler is a feather in the cap of everybody in the Yankee organization because we have lamented the idea that the Yankees have not developed any homegrown talent. You can't say that anymore. This kid is homegrown.
They might have with this one. You're right,
He's a
especially if he
homegrown,
keeps it up. Yeah.
yeah, he's a homegrown pitcher with quality stuff that when you look at him, you go, that could be ace material. That could be the guy that when Garrett Cole hangs up the spikes, you go, all right, say you're next.
Going into not just, game 3 tonight against the Red Sox, but just coming into these playoffs, period, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a Yankee fan, and I'm sure I could relate to this. I don't know if any of you guys who are watching right now who are Yankee fans may relate to this as well.
Mm-hmm.
But games 1 and 2, we kind of felt confident for the most part. Obviously, Max Fried being somebody who you would always rely on no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Rodon being your 2, but then 3 being Cam, it was like, damn, well, he's a rookie one, so we don't really know what to expect, right? Like he has shown flashes during his time in the regular season, what he's capable of at least.
Yeah.
But I don't even think this was something that we were expecting, Like if somebody were to ask me, like, best case scenario, what do you think would be the most likely outcome of Cam's performance tonight? I certainly would not have guessed it was going to be as good as it was for him tonight. And listen, even the youngster who pitched for the Boston Red Sox early, I
Yeah.
thought he gave them 3 strong.
Yeah,
It
for
wasn't
sure.
until he got into the 4th inning where the Yankees started to get to him. And I don't even think it was his fault, really. I think the Boston Red Sox defense is what really let him down, I would say.
Yeah, I think Alex Cora hit the nail on the head when he started talking about the defense failing him. But to answer your first question, because uh I want to go in order. I said if he gave me 5 strong, I'm taking it to the bank and
Yeah.
I'm cashing the chips out because I can't the one thing I can't do is be hyperbolic. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that on the show. I'm not gonna do it in my real life. When it comes to this baseball thing, I tend to say crazy stuff in terms of predictions, but what I expect on the field, I tend to be very conservative, especially in the playoffs. Because in a series like this, it could blow up in your face if you try to do too much too soon. So I said if he gave me 5 and fly and he looked at least somewhat uh comfortable and confident, I was like, that's a feather in your cap for the next start. Now, this brother goes out there and throws 8 strong and looks like, hold up, who's next?
He looked like he's done this before.
Listen, bro. At one point, I looked at him and I said, hold up, you gonna be just out here just dominating?
Right,
Because
like
this is
that?
what we're choosing to do tonight. And listen, he was in the minor leagues for most of the season. If I remember correctly, right? They said on the broadcast tonight he was in double A. He was in Somerset as early as like May this year. And he didn't make his debut with the Yankees until July 9th.
Right.
15 big league starts. Coming into the start, he had a 2.96 earned run average. His postseason earned run average is a flat out 0. That is incredible. I don't
Mhm.
care if it's the wild card series, if it's the division series. And here's the thing I'm going to say too is I just I hope I hope that this pushes Max Fried and Carlos Rodon to keep going. Don't be quick to give the ball up. Look at what the young buck did in an elimination game.
Right.
When it's time for you to take the ball, you take the ball. Right? If you got to literally sit there and fight with Aaron Boone on the rubber, yo, sit your behind back in that dugout and I'm finishing this.
Yeah.
Go back over there because I'm not saying that Cam fought Boone, right? But Cam performed to the point where Aaron Boone couldn't make a move.
Yeah, I had seen this clip midway through the game, of course, because you got people who post things while things are happening in real time.
Right.
And there was a moment where Aaron Boone had, he was talking to somebody briefly on the bench, and he's like, yo, this guy's throwing strikes. Like,
Yeah.
what could he really do? He's literally doing exactly what we
So
need him to do.
it was in between the seventh. It was in between the top of the 7th inning and the
Right.
bottom of the 7th because he's talking to the bench coach,
Mm-hmm.
Brad Ausmus, and he's telling Brad Ausmus, like, yo, he's throwing strikes. I'm not doing nothing. He's gonna go back out there.
Yeah.
And as crazy as it sounds, his last inning was his most efficient. He threw 7 pitches in the 8th inning to get 3 outs. Also, Listen, we talk about the Yankee offense hitting home runs and home run or bust. They put the ball in play tonight.
Right.
They did the things that you have to do when you want to win a postseason series. Be annoying on the bases, take the extra base, uh, put the ball in play, make the defensive plays. They were great on defense this entire series.
Listen, I think a crucial point when it comes to putting the ball in play, because Yankee fandom aside, I'm a big believer in putting the ball in play, right? Like I
Absolutely.
think more teams should be doing that. I'm big on contact. I don't always necessarily. Well, I understand what it does for ratings in terms of like the consumer standpoint, but just as someone who likes to watch the game for what it offers overall,
Hmm.
big believer in that. And I think it showed, right? It was a ground ball that was hit to Nathaniel Lowe, by the way. For those who don't remember, he won the Gold Glove Award 2 seasons ago with the Texas Rangers.
Hmm.
He botched it. It goes into the grass and into the outfield. And it's like, wait, hold on, man. You're telling me something as simple as that, even if you hit it to a Gold Glover, could still work in your way? Come on, man.
It's so this is the thing I'm gonna say, right? Throughout the series, the Red Sox looked like the team defensively, especially last night. That was they gave a couple things away, right? You remember in the seventh inning when Jazz made that throw that it skips off Rice's glove, Eaton doesn't score. And I'm like, how do you not score right there? You could have taken the lead because at the time the game was tied.
Right.
And I will say that at some point, we got to look at the Red Sox defense as a real problem here. And you have to be able to take into account that Alex Cora led team was fundamentally uh, flawed. And I have never said that about Alex Cora man, his team. They're usually very good fundamentally, but the play on low, the there was a play in last night's game too where the ball fell in between two outfielders, and I'm like, yo, this is not what you guys do.
Right,
Like
right. It also happened again tonight. I forgot
tonight,
at one point in the game, but it did happen though. Yeah.
where Cedar Rafael is coming in from center field in between Abreu and the second baseman. I'm like, somebody want to call for this ball? The
Right.
Bellinger double. The Bellinger double. And
Yeah.
listen, I thought Alex Cora managed this game poorly tonight. I thought he was bad. I thought you left early in for way too long.
Yeah, I was even saying it in the chat too. I was like, yo, get this kid out of here. Get this kid out of here. Because listen, I thought at that point what he had given to you for a rookie, folks. And remember this. We're talking about a guy in early who he literally just got called up to the big leagues in September.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
just made it to the big league level
yeah.
like 3 weeks ago, probably.
Hmm.
And listen, the fact that he had gotten them through 3 strong innings and started to get into a little bit of trouble, how are you not aggressive, man? So I agree with you, Stefan.
I think he emptied the clip yesterday. I think he emptied the clip yesterday. And here's the thing: when you're that aggressive yesterday, he knew he had to win that game. You kind of saw him like, damn, I have to win game two because if there's a game three, I don't got much of a shot. I'm gonna throw the kid out there because I ain't got no other choice. Here's the reality of it. It compounds it when Cam Schlittler's out here just throwing up zeros, striking out the world, and making your lineup look like they belong in preschool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that right there, it compounds things. And listen, we can have a conversation about what what does this mean for him? What does it mean for the team? All that stuff. All that stuff can be talked about later. For the moment, let's give Cam Schlittler some love. And this brother earned. He had his Yankee moment at 24 years old. No, not many people have their Yankee moment at 24 years old. That is
Yeah.
incredible.
I
And
think it doesn't even matter. Now, while of course you still want him to, and it doesn't have to be to the extent that he pitched that tonight, right? In this elimination game. But I think moving forward in these playoffs, it doesn't even matter what else he's got left, right? I think the fact that he was able to get you out of this wild card round in a game 3 against your rival, speaks volumes, right? Now, obviously, you would love for him to be able to still be a solid 3 as the playoff as the playoffs, progress. But as you mentioned, Stefan, what he did tonight, like that was all. I think as a Yankee fan, what more could I ask from you? You know, as a rookie.
I mean, he was sensational. I just want to share this tweet by Jeff Passan because I thought it sums up his night perfectly. So
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to share this with y'all.
Wow, first rookie to strike out 10 or more in a postseason game since 1997.
Livan Hernandez. That is the game, if you remember correctly, that is the game where the strike zone was in Ethiopia. It wasn't in Miami. It was in another planet at that point.
I
So
don't remember the game itself, but I do, of course, know who Levon Hernandez is. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
so I wanted to share that. There's a YouTube clip if you want to go back and watch it. But there's a couple things tonight that I'm going to be pulling up on Twitter because I was on Twitter during the game. I sent you some stuff in terms of statistics that are incredible. And look, the kid did what you wanted him to do. Like that was a dream start for him. That was a dream start for him. That was a dream start for the Yankees themselves. And listen, I'll say this too. Two things caught my eye, right? I went from asking myself in the first maybe 3 innings of the game, okay, when is the Red Sox offense going to respond? Because usually it's the second time through after you see a starting pitcher where it starts to get dicey,
Yeah.
right? Where you realize, like, hold up, they saw him, they know what the stuff is. It's granted, it's 100, so that's not easy to get around on, but you see somebody, you start timing it up. The thing that I like that he did, he started throwing his two-seamer, mixing in the cutter, mixing in a curveball. Like he was like, all right, I'm gonna just pitch. But if you play around, I got 100 in the back pocket that I might just throw right by you. And he pitched tonight. And how many times can we say that about a 24-year-old? Now, granted, so did early for the first 3 innings of the game, as you
Mm,
pointed out.
right.
But remember the conversation we would have, me and you, and I don't want to rehash something to make us seem right, but again, we're early on the trend where we started asking, like, yo, when are pitchers gonna go deeper into games? You've had two postseason starts in this series where both pitchers in Crochet and Schlittler have gone 8 innings.
Yeah.
Nobody goes 8 innings anymore. That is incredible. And I wonder how much that is going to translate for the rest of the postseason.
The only other pitcher that comes to mind that came close, I mean, he damn near did the same exact thing. I think he went like 7 2/3, was Tariq Skubal in that game 1 against the Guardians. Other
Mhm.
than that, though, I don't think anybody else outside of those three guys have
It,
performed to that
that's
level yet.
I listen, there are moments where you sit back and you're in awe of whatever you just saw. And me, you've watched a lot of baseball, bro. Nothing really gets me in awe anymore. Like I've been around the game a long time. You've seen a lot of stuff, and
Yeah, you gotta be doing something spectacular for me to be on the edge of my seat
yo,
nowadays, you
where
know?
I was literally watching this game, and that's why I hopped on the chat late, admittedly, because I'm very superstitious during games. Like I don't move. I don't move from the spot.
Damn,
I
so
don't.
you feel like a player, damn near.
Yeah. So I didn't move. I didn't, answer the phone. I actually sent Mikey the voicemail because he called me during the game. I was like, I can't talk. I can't talk.
Nah, man, can't be talking during these games, bro. Gotta
Yeah,
lock in as a
I can't.
fan, especially, you know?
First of all, I can't talk because I didn't want to uh jinx it. Forget about being a fan. Like I didn't want to ruin the moment, like
Yeah.
for the show. Where I'm just like, yo, this is incredible. And
Mhm.
the thing that I find myself asking myself is, uh, can the Yankees actually, can the starting rotation lead them to a deep postseason run? Can this starting rotation that we have, because remember the questions the last few years, oh, the offensive good, but the starters aren't deep enough. You can ask the question now: are the Yankees the deepest starting rotation left in these playoffs? You can ask that question.
Right.
We can debate it back and forth because you got Philly with Sanchez and the crew they got down there.
Ranger Suarez, right,
Yeah, no,
right.
I'm not saying they are the deepest, but you can have a debate from the teams that are left and Seattle with
Yeah, Seattle for
that
sure.
crew down there. They're freakish too.
Hmm.
But the Yankees belong in the mix after what I saw this week.
Yeah, for sure. I think tonight's performance certainly when it comes to having to give the ball to someone outside of Fried and Rodon, you have a bit more confidence. Now, to expect this every time moving forward would be a little
It's
absurd,
unfair. Yeah,
but
that's
just to
unfair.
know that you could at least get like 5 quality innings. It doesn't necessarily have to be 8, right? But if we were to sit here and say like, yo, we could get 5 quality innings out of Cam moving forward, anything beyond that is a bonus. Sign me up for it right now. Literally, straight up.
This is crazy. This I have to share. Hold on one second. I just saw a tweet
Hmm.
by Jason Stark. Because listen, this is a post game show. So if there's live statistics that are gonna come across my Twitter feed, I'm gonna share them with you because this is crazy stuff. This is insane. I
What we
saw
got?
this. I saw this, and I almost like did a triple take because
Shrek said his Sox fan on a plane to Cancun right now.
probably,
Yo,
yeah.
Shrek, you foul, bro. He did say he went to game 2 or he was going to game 2. Hopefully he did go.
Look at that stat.
Wow.
Look at that stat.
Holy cow. There's only 2 people to ever do it. And he's the second one.
That's incredible, dog.
Crazy.
And look at how many people. Look at how many people done pitched in playoff games.
Right.
And to say you're on the list with somebody else, and that's just the lit. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's two, and that's that you're done. Incredible stuff. Incredible. Listen, you can't take the kid for granted. You can't take what he did for granted. And
Not at all.
um, Alex Cora used the word in the post game to describe him. He said he was perfect.
Yeah, damn near.
He was like, there's nothing you can do at that point. When somebody says you're perfect, bro, that's almost like, yo, we knew we had no shot. When he went to go talk to Buster only in between innings, I was like, I knew you could see the defeat in his face. Like, damn, we knew the fastball was fast, but we didn't know it was this good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We knew the stuff was A1. We didn't know it was this good. But here's the thing, right? The Red Sox will be back. That team is young. That
For
team has a
sure.
bunch of talent. Let's not
Yeah.
shortchange what they did. Let's not shortchange who they can be. Listen, to give the Red Sox some love, okay? You put another ace with a guy like Garrett Crochet, we're in business in Boston as early as next year. There was no Roman Anthony in this series. There was no Marcelo Meyer in this series.
Right.
Okay. I also think the Red Sox are going to get deeper in terms of the bullpen. I think they're going to add another bat. Like the Red Sox, this is the offseason to strike because it feels like you have enough young players where it makes sense to go out and spend some money.
Yeah,
To
I
say,
think they're right there. I think they're a couple of pieces away from being
you
in a
know,
championship series.
like I like Nathaniel Lowe, but let's say you replace Nathaniel Lowe with Pete Alonso,
Ooh, boy.
right? I like Aroldis Chapman, but let's say you replace Aroldis Chapman with Edwin Diaz if he opts out.
Well, the thing is, when it comes to Chapman, I think eventually you kind of have to move on. So they may have to start thinking about that already because he's an
Right.
older guy. So
What I'm saying is you already have to start making contingency plans as to what it would look like if we went another way, right?
right.
Because the one thing the Red Sox did show you throughout the course of this series is we're going to be here. Outside of tonight, the first two games, you were like, hold up.
Mm-hmm.
Every time the Yankees scored, they had a response. Every time
Yeah.
the Yankees thought they had some distance, Boston would do something where you were like, hold on, these guys just won't go away. They won't quit. And this is what I'm saying. You add another bat to the middle of the lineup, you add another reliever to a pretty talented group already. You can do some things with a manager who is, if you give him the pieces, we've seen him win a championship before.
Listen,
You know,
I think he did exactly what he needed to do in terms of what the Red Sox did all this in the last off season. Leading up to now, getting eliminated here tonight, I think Alex Cora couldn't have done a better job. Like it's been a few seasons since we had seen the Boston Red Sox in the playoffs to begin with, right? So to see that, they made a couple of big moves in the offseason leading up to now, it's like, yo, holy cow. I think like Alex Cora, he knows exactly what he's doing. And if the Boston Red Sox could just add just a couple of more things, right? It doesn't have to be this long list of things, right? But as Stefan mentioned, perhaps maybe
Mhm.
add another bullpen arm, right? Maybe add another starter and
Yeah,
certainly get another bat in there to go alongside Alex Bregman and Roman Anthony moving forward. Then
yeah,
you got some things going for you
yeah.
guys.
And the
We
other
don't
thing,
see you on the screen for some reason, bro.
you
Yeah,
don't
it's
see.
only me right now.
Hold on, what did I do here?
I'm not sure. I just saw I just saw you disappear and it's just me.
Oh, there
You
you go.
good, you good, you good.
Oh, so it's one of those things where I'm gonna be totally honest. Like they arrived a year early, if that makes sense. They were a year early to me. Everything that they did, they pushed the chips to the middle of the table a year early. I think the Devers trade actually gives them some more flexibility to decide, hey, if we want to go out and spend anywhere from 200 to 300 million dollars
Right.
in an off season, we can if we want to. Because Devers' money is off the books. So if they really wanted to go out and do some things in terms of acquiring starting pitching, the farm system is still very deep because you can't play all those kids. I wonder if like a Christian Campbell and somebody else are sent away for some other stuff that they may need. The Red Sox are not going away anytime soon. And here's the thing, right? The playoffs expose flaws, right? The playoffs expose the kind of flaws that you can cover up in the regular season, right? Like for example, Boston struck out a lot during the regular season. That was one thing they did. They were a high strikeout rate team, and it showed. They faced velocity, and they were striking out left and right. And if I'm honest, this is gonna sound crazy. I think Cam left a couple strikeouts on the table,
Right.
which is a crazy thought to say because he struck out 12 guys.
Yeah.
By my count, he could have easily had 14, 15.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But it's a beautiful thing. And also, look, the series that we're setting up to see, bro. The series that we are setting up to see in Detroit and Seattle, that's gonna be a fun series. I'm probably gonna take the Mariners, but who knows? Because I've been wrong
Yeah.
on all of these so far. So who knows? Um,
I'm going Seattle. We're looking at what, 7-game series now moving forward?
five,
Five, excuse me. Yeah,
five.
I'm getting
Yeah.
ahead of myself. Five.
Hmm.
I could certainly see Seattle winning in probably 4 games. Maybe Detroit gets
Wow.
one. The one being I hate to
The
always
Scooble
say this,
start. The
but
Scooble
I
start.
mean, but we got to be honest, right? We're being honest when we say this.
Right.
I hate to come on here every show and say, yo, like the only game that I really have faith in when it comes to the Tigers facing anyone, right? It's that game one going to
Yeah.
Tariq Skubal. And I think
It's
beyond that, I've said this on previous shows, but now that we're now preparing for the division series, now moving forward in these playoffs, I
mhm,
like Seattle's rotation. I think it's deeper. I
mhm,
think they have better options when it comes to a game 2, a game 3, a game 4,
mhm.
maybe possibly a game 5, right? I like their closer better than anybody coming out of the Tigers bullpen.
Okay, yeah.
I
Mhm,
like the lineup. Like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I'm
mhm.
just putting it out there, folks.
And here's the thing too. You got somebody in Seattle that can match up with Scooble, right? Whether you throw a Woo or whether you throw a George Kirby or whether you throw a Logan Gilbert or whether you throw a Luis Castillo,
I
like
mean, Gavin Williams, he did a hell of a job in that game 1 for the Guardians, bro. Like, I know he's not in the same stratosphere, but to go out there and do what
yeah,
he did a
it's
hell of a job.
he pitched remarkably well. And I'm surprised that the Guardians miscues defensively. They were really bad on defense. Bad on defense. Um, the Jose Ramirez coming down the line on a play right in front of you. Just really, really sloppy
I feel
stuff.
bad for him sometimes, bro. You know, like it's been a few years now since Lindor has left. You know, I kind of feel like he hasn't really had, some genuine help there, at least
Mhm.
especially on the offensive end, you know.
For sure.
But still credit to the Guardians for still coming through in the ways that they do. But listen, man, we got to come to a conclusion. Either get him some help, which is probably not going to happen, or get him the hell out.
That's why every offseason we have the same conversation. Is
Yeah.
this the offseason when he walks up to the front office and says, "Hey man, I did all I could for y'all. My back is damn near broken carrying this franchise. Somebody want to help?"
Maybe he loves it there, right? Especially when you look at the deal that he signed to
He
stay there.
Yeah, he
Now I
might.
know it's a lot of money. A lot of guys you can't really be saying no to something like that these days, right? But
And he has a no
at the
trade
same
clause.
time, it maybe certain guys actually we saw it with Jackson Murrow, right?
Yeah.
He said like straight up, listen, I want to stay with San Diego. The
Mhm.
Padres are the team that I want to play for moving forward. Now,
Yeah.
J Ram, I don't know if he's ever vocalized that himself, but it could be one of those things.
That's a good point. Look, um Seattle's offense is just too prolific. Like the Tigers won 2 games by the skin of their proverbial teeth. They won game 1 2-1, all right? And then they won today. The Bats finally woke up where they scored. I think they won 6-1 or 6-3 rather, where
Yeah.
the Bats finally woke up and it was like, "Oh, this is what your offense could look like if you put it together consistently." So, I guess my question is, are you going to be able to play around like that against Seattle? I don't know about that.
I think especially when you compare the Seattle lineup to what the Tigers just had to go up against in 3 games, right? Like no disrespect to the Guardians, but you guys have J Ram, but you ain't got a Eugenio Suarez.
Yeah.
You ain't got a J Rod.
Yeah.
You don't got a Kyle Riley. Like and even deeper, you don't got a Jorge Polanco.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
just so many guys that I think
A Luke
Seattle
Rarely,
yeah,
Luke
I think
Rarely,
Seattle
yeah,
has, more of an offense, I would say, that's
yeah.
definitely gonna give the Tigers a harder time, and I don't think they're gonna get by as easily as they did.
Seattle also feels more balanced at this point. Like, I think this is the most balanced lineup they've had since that '01 team with Edgar Martinez and I think Ichiro's on the team. This was right after A-Rod left. Mike Cameron was the center fielder. John Olerud was the first baseman.
Right.
They had they had some players on that team. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder now, is this the best lineup they had since then?
It has to be because I mean, we've been watching baseball for a long time now, man, and
Yeah.
I don't really remember a lot of big boppers coming out of Seattle, to be honest, over the
No,
past 20 years.
I mean, you had Nelson Cruz for half a second, but they were bad.
Mhm.
Cano was supposed to be the middle of the order guy for them, but he never figured it out. Like, they haven't really had somebody that's like, oh, there's our guy that if you make a mistake, he'll hit one all the way to the Edgar Steakhouse in left field
I
somewhere.
feel like they've always had at least one, I would say, but to sit here and say that they have more than one now,
Right.
that's the big difference I would say with the Mariners team.
Yeah, like even a guy like Josh Naylor, who's
Josh Naylor, yes.
we don't look at him in the same breath as we do like a Kyle Raleigh or a Eugenio Suarez, but you play around with Josh Naylor, he can send one to some places now.
Yeah, he'll do that, or he'll turn a single into a
To a
double because
double,
he
yeah.
steals bases now, apparently.
And first of all, somebody want to find out what's going on with these stolen bases, bro.
Everybody's getting 30-30s out here.
Josh Naylor finished with 30 stolen base. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? Like,
You
yo,
know, I read a stat the other day. I forgot the exact number, but there's never been this many players to finish the season 30-30, bro.
30. That's incredible stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's
But at the same
incredible stuff.
time, as we got deeper into, this season, it was like every other day you would hear about a new guy like this guy's 30-30, that guy's 30-30.
Yeah. Also, too, the thing that I've also have come to grips with is these bases being bigger also lends to more stolen bases because you're allowed to be more aggressive because the bases are bigger. And there's only the two pickoff rule where if you don't get him the second time, he's gonna take a bag. So
The
That
one that
also
really surprises me, and it's because he's been playing baseball for some time now. Now I know he's really young, hence why the Mets gave him that deal. But
just
Juan
showed up.
Soto now, after all these years, I mean, we done seen him play in Washington. He played in San Diego, the Yankees, and now with the Mets. And suddenly now is when you have your first 30-30, bro. I mean, not saying that you weren't gonna have it at all, but how all of a sudden? It is what it is, though.
The year he got the 30-30, they missed the playoffs. So they went that.
Right. It ended up being for nothing.
Yeah, basically. I'm gonna say this too for the record. Uh I'm picking the Mariners in 4.
Okay.
I'm picking the Mariners in 4. Let's do the American League side of the bracket first.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this may be prisoner of the moment ish, but taking the Yankees in 4 too.
I'm not mad at that, bro. I don't think now it may come off as being a prisoner of the moment to
That's why I
others.
said prisoner of the moment ish, because they just won a big series. Because we're recording this right after game 3 of the wild card series. For those that are going to
Mhm.
watch this tomorrow morning, on a couple days, I don't want nobody coming back to me like, oh, what happened? You guys are down 0-2. What happened to the Yankees in 4 talk? So just to specify,
Right.
this show is being recorded like literally, what time is it? 11:30?
Yeah.
Probably like an hour after the game just ended. So
Mhm.
it could feel a little prisoner of the moment ish.
No, I'm right there with you, bro. I also have Yankees in 4. I just don't think the Blue Jays are gonna have the same success that they had early this year against the Yankees. We saw how things turned out for them in
Mhm.
September. They were lucky to hold on to that lead in the
Division
American
lead.
League
Yeah.
East. With
Mhm.
everything that they had. And quite frankly, I think the Yankees are in a position right now. You ended the season off on an 8-game winning streak. You won two out of 3
Three
against the
against
Boston Red
Boston.
Sox,
Yeah.
as you should have. I
Mhm.
don't think the Blue Jays are going to be much of a threat. But listen, who knows? Maybe the Blue Jays, they make
Push this
this
thing to
year, and
5 games, and then we end up having a different conversation in a couple days from now.
yeah,
That's why baseball is it's hard to predict, right? We can sit here and give prognostications about who we think is going to do what. They were killing us on TikTok, right?
I think we did well, bro. I think we did well. I was wrong about the Padres, right?
I was
You
wrong about
chose the Padres, but you also specified how you were iffy because the offense, and that's exactly what
what
ruined
let
it for
yeah.
them and why the
Mhm.
Cubs are moving on as
Yeah.
opposed to the Padres. So
So
while we were wrong about certain things, we were also right if you actually listen to how we break it all down too.
yeah, it's one of those things where everybody listens to the prediction rather than the nuance that comes with the
Yeah.
prediction.
People are like, "Oh, I've heard enough. I'm out."
Yeah, like it's cool. You just said, "Ah, I'm gonna keep this receipt."
Yeah.
Like it's cool, bro. Like I got you. But look, I'm the reason why I'm also gonna take the Yankees is until Toronto does it with this group of players in a big moment, I can't trust it. And I want to see. We don't know how healthy Boba Shed is. From what I'm being told, Boba Shed is not going to get on the field during this series.
Right. Did I believe I think a few days ago I heard you say that like Chris Bassett had gone down as well for something, or is
So
he back or
Chris Bassett is scheduled to come off the injured list on tomorrow. He's
Oh,
scheduled
okay,
to
so
come
he's
off
gonna be okay. All right.
on the 3rd, and then so I wonder how Toronto's going to line this up, right? Because I'm assuming it's going to be Gosman that
Mhm.
starts game 1 against Luis Heel,
Yeah.
and I don't hate that pitching matchup for the Yankees either because I think Heel turns it up in the playoffs, and you see Heel throwing 97, 98 if he got it in the tuck. Um, the test for me in this series is how rested is the Yankee bullpen? Because you used a lot of guys to get these games against Boston, right? Now, Cam giving you 8 innings, Devin Williams had the night off. You didn't have to go to Camilo during the series. You
Right.
didn't have to go to Tim Hill didn't pitch at all tonight. Like Luke Weaver didn't touch the mound tonight. So like Their bullpen, for the most part, should be semi-rested. The only question I would have is if the Yankees have the lead in the ninth inning of one of those games, who's closing the game? That's the question that I have. And the other thing is, I don't know if you noticed this, but I caught something during his last at bat. Cody Bellinger looked like he tweaked his calf.
I missed it. I got to go back and see that.
So he hits a grounder and
Hmm.
he's literally limping up the first baseline. And they're asking him, "Yo, you good now?" He's limping his way back to the dugout with a noticeable limp. It's not like he's trying to, he can't hide it.
Yeah.
He's damn near hobbling back to the dugout. And I'm like, oh God, please,
Damn, bro. There's always something.
please.
If it ain't one thing, it's the other.
So I'm thinking, like, I hope he just caught a quick cramp where he's trying to run it out or something. But
Yeah, hopefully it's something light, for sure.
as you talk through this, as we talk through this,
Hmm.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump back on Twitter and I'm gonna go find one of the Yankee beat reporters and find out if Boone specified what the deal is with him.
Right.
Because there's only this day off. You play Saturday, you play Sunday, you have off Monday, and then games 3 and 4 are back at Yankee Stadium Tuesday and Wednesday.
Hmm.
So there's not that gap that there usually would be. But I'm very curious to see what happened there. Also, too, um, I noticed something tonight that made me go, "Uh-oh." You know when the light bulb goes off, bro? You know when the light bulb goes off and you're like, "Uh-oh, hold up."
Right.
G hit a ball. I'm not talking about the double he hit off the wall.
To
I'm
center?
talking I'm talking about the shot he hit the center field.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
was like,
I
"Uh-oh.
thought it was gone as well. Yeah, for a
Hold up
second.
now. Wait a minute." Toronto,
They're in trouble.
you better hope and
They're in
pray.
trouble. And here's the thing, too, right? The Blue Jays, they don't have their version of a Garrett Crochet, right?
No,
Ain't nobody coming out of that rotation that's going to put up a performance like that. I'd be very surprised if it happens.
right.
They don't
Now,
got themselves in a Aroldis Chapman at the back end of the bullpen.
and
We had talked a couple weeks ago right here on the show, for those of you who remember,
mhm.
their closer, Jeff Hoffman, they didn't even know if he was able to close games anymore
They thought
because of
damn
how
near,
bad he's been,
yeah, they damn near thought about pulling him from the closer role.
Right.
Here's the thing. Here's the edge, or here's the reason why I could see Toronto making this a series.
If they do, I think it's because it goes 5. That's the only shot I give the Blue Jays.
But I'm gonna tell you how it happens, right? I'm going Gosman, Bieber, Bassett. That's not a bad three to deal with if you're walking into a playoff series. Because Shane Bieber looks like the Shane Bieber from his Cleveland days.
Which is crazy, by the way.
You know what
I'm
I'm
I'm still
saying?
amazed.
And
Yeah.
then you seen what Kevin Gosman did this year. Like, don't let this Yankee hat and this sweater that I'm wearing fool you. I'm just happy we won. And I want to and I'm trolling Met fans by wearing this right now because I want y'all to know the city is not under new management. This is for
Right.
y'all. Don't let it fool you. Toronto is a legitimate threat. I know you don't feel that way, bro, but Alejandro Kirk been kicking behind all year. George Springer been kicking behind all year.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Shrek, he left a comment here. He says that we may not have been beaten by Bregman, but Springer gonna get us.
Right. And he might not be wrong.
Yeah.
The Addison Barger been killing all year.
Right.
You look up and down that lineup, it's not as bad as everybody says that it is.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right. And the question I would have for the Blue Jays is, does Vladdy get hot enough to carry you to a series victory? Vladdy cannot have a series where this dude looks like he's lost at the plate. Because if he does, I don't care what type of miracles potion you giving George Springer. Vladdy got to be Vladdy if you want to beat the Yankees.
I would even go as far as to say that Vladdy and George Springer both have to be on in order if they're gonna take the Yankees out, to be
They would have
honest.
to, yeah, they both have to be on it. And listen, look, we've talked about the Yankees' struggles with the bullpen here in New York. That Toronto bullpen ain't the safest bet either.
Yeah.
With the kid Rodriguez, and then you got Hoffman at the back end, like we might be white knuckling it a few games during this series. All I know is, yo, fam, when me and you meet up on Saturday, it's on like Donkey Kong, brother.
Oh yeah. By the way, guys. So as you guys know, we are recording 3 times per week throughout this postseason, right? If you know, you know. For those of you who didn't know, now you know, right? So today's our second show of the week, obviously. We're gonna come back on Saturday, right, for our third show of this week. But I will actually be at Stefan's place watching the games that day, right?
Mhm.
So we would be doing that post game coverage for whatever game that day. We'll make update you guys on the socials and whatnot. So
Yep.
make sure. Oh, about go ahead and follow us there too. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Like, comment, subscribe, all that
All
good
that.
stuff. So we'll update you guys in terms of like
For
after
sure.
what game we're gonna hit the YouTube and all that stuff.
Yep.
So make sure you guys pay attention to that. But I wanted to give you guys the update because it will
No.
not be this, the typical
The
view.
setup, it's not
Yeah.
gonna be the typical setup. I will say this though, for the record, uh Vladdy got to show me something, man. We talk about Vladdy being this offensive force, and he is an offensive force, but you got to do it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You can't just have great regular seasons because then you're just Aaron Judge. You're a lot of these players that we talk about in the modern game. Not to discredit the American League, but let's get to the main event. It's fun time. It's grown folk business. We here for grown folk business.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee, Milwaukee, Milwaukee.
That's gonna be a great series, by the way.
I got something I want to ask you, Brewer fans. When are we gonna stop asking, is this the year? Is this the year? Is this the year? Is this the year? Are you gonna man up and do what you got to do? The Cubs made the next round. Yes, I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm not saying that they don't deserve it, because they do.
Yeah.
Boy, did Craig Counsell manage to a T
I thought
during.
the pitching staff did a hell of a job. They did something that I wasn't even expecting them to do.
Craig Counsell is a gangster. You saw what he did, bro. You brought your closer in the fifth inning of a must-win game to say, "Yo, go get the heavy part of the lineup." Yo, this dude is gangster.
Right.
Respect to even have the thought process to do that. I don't want no problems with you, but you're walking in a little beleaguered now, right? Like, your starting pitching, it helped you, but it's still a question mark. Matthew Boyd was warming up in the bullpen at a point during the game today. He was thinking about putting Matthew Boyd in the game. Matthew Boyd just gave the Cubs 5 innings on Tuesday night.
Right, in game 1, yeah.
Who the hell is starting in that first game for the Cubs on Saturday? I have no idea.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Are you going straight bullpen for the first game of a division series?
Right.
You might have to. By the way, you know who's waiting on you in game 1 of that series, by the way? Like,
Freddie Peralta?
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
You bullpenning against that dude?
That's gonna be well. Now. Listen though, not to discredit, the Padres by saying this, but
Oh,
you know,
I want to save my thoughts on them because
no, I'm not even getting into them. I'm just saying something about the pitching and going right back to Freddie Peralta.
right.
Like in game 1, they went up against Nick Pivetta. Not saying that Nick Pivetta is Freddie
Yeah.
Peralta. If you were to ask me, I'll take a Freddie Peralta any day of the week.
No doubt.
Others may say Pivetta. I'll leave that up to you, right? But I'm a Freddie Peralta type of guy, right? But I believe that with what the Cubs offense did in game 1 against the Padres,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to somehow pull through with a victory in game one against the Brewers, bro. Especially with them not playing any games. And I know a lot of these teams, they play, scrimmages against each other. So it's not like they're just home
But it's
sitting,
not the same.
practicing.
It's not the
It's not the
same, bro.
same, right? You don't have the feel of the crowd. You don't have the opposing team in terms of who is on that team to be
Mhm.
going up against, right? Like you
Yeah,
see these guys
you
every
don't got
day. You know what these guys have in their repertoire. It's
yeah.
very different, you
There's
know?
not you don't got a Nico Horner staring at you going, yo, I might go 3 for 4 and hit 2 doubles down the line. Like
Right.
it's a different beat. Like say Suzuki, my God,
Mm-hmm.
how hot has he been lately? Good Lord Almighty. Also, Brewer fans, I'm just saying this for the record. If you don't think Craig Counsell wants to beat you like you stole something from him, you was bugging. That storyline is crazy, bro. You're you left Milwaukee and your first playoff chance, you get to take them out of the playoffs?
I think if the Cubs are gonna have any shot
Wow.
at eliminating the Brewers, I think Craig Counsell is gonna play a role in
A
that, you
huge
know.
role, yeah.
By the way, so I was looking at like the record between the Cubs and the Brewers for the season. So very close. The Cubs actually they played each other 13 times. Cubs won 7 times to the Brewers 6. And listen, I know that the Brewers turned into a completely different team in the second half, especially. We've talked about it here on the show numerous times. And I'm sorry, man. I'm just gonna give the Cubs the edge. I have to. I think I'm
Mm,
somebody, especially like coming into these playoffs. I doubted the rotation. I didn't think the rotation. Now did I obviously know that they had guys like Matthew Boyd in there and Imanaga and some others? Absolutely, right. But I didn't think that was going to be enough to take out a team such as the Padres. And when you consider the bullpen that they have, right?
mhm.
But now going up against the Brewers and seeing how these teams have gone toe to toe throughout the entire regular season and how
Yup.
close it was, knowing that the Cubs are already in that momentum, fresh off of a series win, I gotta give the edge to the Cubs, bro. I gotta give
That's
the edge to the Cubs,
you
and I
wouldn't
also like their lineup better than the Brewers, just a bit. I kind of wouldn't be mad if somebody were to say they like the Brewers lineup more because the Brewers they got some scrappy guys in there. I think the Cubs have more of a home run type of crew. They have a
mhm.
lot of guys who are certainly going to hit homers in the lineup, but I think the Brewers seem like the team that are down to put the ball in play
Yeah,
to make sure things start working in their favor. So listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Cubs Brewers go to 5 games, bro.
me neither. Me
Five
neither.
games.
Me neither. I am looking to see uh if there was anything on left foot limping tonight, receiving treatment, but says expects to be ready for. Okay, so it was his left foot, according to Brian Hoke of MLB.com, the Cody Bellinger injury that I was referring
Yeah.
to. It is his left foot. Let me pop it up on the screen right here for you
They have an
guys.
update on in terms of like what it is or no?
He says he's fine. He
Mm-hmm.
says he doesn't think it's significant, but he was limping in the clubhouse after the game.
Yeah.
So let's just pop this up on the screen so you guys can see this. Listen, I'm just having fun with the features on here tonight. Like
I mean, listen, he got 48 hours to figure it out, bro. You got all day tomorrow. You got most of Saturday.
he
Get
didn't
well.
see like if it was something that if it was something that the Yankees were concerned with, they probably pull him off the field. But the
Yeah,
fact that he
yeah.
was on the field for the rest of the game lets you know that it wasn't as bad as people, as it looked. So here's the
So
update.
there it is, folks. For anyone who was concerned about Cody and what you may have seen during the game tonight, it
Yeah.
looks like he's all right.
He feels like he's gonna be fine. So
Right.
hopefully that's not just him just trying to be macho bravado and
Also, guys, for you guys who are here with us, shout out to you guys rocking with us right
Frankie,
now.
what's up, bro?
What's going on, Frankie? It is almost midnight, right? So first
Word.
of all, shout out to us for doing this show tonight. We got a couple of more things to talk about. Shout out to you guys for being here. But as we are talking about, what's coming up next in these playoffs with the division series around the corner and ready to begin on Saturday. Tell us who you guys have, right, in both the American League and the National League, between the Yankees, Blue Jays, between another team that, well, two teams we got to get into still, Stefan, in the Phillies and the Dodgers. I mean,
That's
that's
to
two
me.
juggernauts right
To
there,
me,
man.
to me, that's the series of the week. That's the series of the week.
Right. I kind of feel
Also,
like that's the series, that's gonna have the most eyes in terms of like people watching all at once.
yes.
And while it is one that I was looking forward to, at the same time, I'm a little, sad that we're only gonna be able to get best case scenario, 5 games between these two teams. I would have loved for it to have been a best of 7, but
Yeah.
we got to settle for what it is for now.
So, Frankie, since you're new to the chat, welcome, man.
You know Frankie or no?
I don't.
Frankie, welcome, bro.
Welcome,
I thought it
brother.
was one of your boys, bro.
No, no, no. I don't know Frank. Welcome, Frank.
Right.
Since you're new, I'm assuming you're a Yankee fan.
Yeah,
Give us
especially with that comment.
give us your thoughts on Cam Schlitter tonight. Give us your predictions for the next round. And also do yourself a favor, follow the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, brother. We love to interact with you. Um, so from where we sit right now, it seems like these two teams are the best two teams in the National League. I dare say these are the best two teams in baseball, just for argument's sake.
I'll tell you one thing as well on top of what you just said. I think one of these teams are going to represent the National League in the
League
World
in the World
Series.
Series. And right
Mm-hmm.
now, I'm gonna tell you this. I know I've been kind of iffy on them. I know I told you I don't know if they could do it. We getting a rematch. We getting a rematch, boys and girls. It is going down.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so before I understand exactly what you mean by that. For those who have been watching the show, or even if you're just a Yankee fan, I would say especially, you probably know what he's referring to when he says that.
Referring to, yeah.
But hold on though, Phillies Dodgers though. I understand you have the Dodgers coming out on top, but
It's gonna take all 5 games though. Don't think that the
all
Dodgers are
5 games.
gonna do.
Okay, that was my
Hell no.
question.
Listen, look, man. Philadelphia. Listen, if Philly loses this series, see, but rematch could be taken in 2 ways. Because I could be talking about a rematch of last year, or I could be talking about a rematch of 2009.
Right.
So you interpret it
And you're open to either one,
either
right?
or, right?
Right. I don't blame you.
And look, that's not to discredit Seattle. Seattle's a great team with great pitching, and that lineup is no joke. And if the Yankees do lose to Seattle, all you can do is tip your cap and say, yo, yeah, I got us. We appreciate y'all. Here's one thing I will say though. If you see that this Dodgers Philly series is one of them, you want to try and get the American League wrapped up as quick as possible. Because while those two behemoths, juggernauts as you put it, are beating each other up, beating themselves up, you want to make sure the American League is the easiest path possible back to the series.
Right.
You don't want to play around and give Toronto life where you're playing a meaningless game 5 because you dumbed out.
Mm-hmm.
Close Toronto out in 4. Let's pop some bottles in the 6. Let's have some, not even in the 6. Let's pop them here at Yankee Stadium and let's just be done with the damn thing. And because Seattle, I got Seattle and the Yankees going a hard 6, maybe the full 7.
In the championship series, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Seattle is
same here.
no joke. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to play around with Toronto when you got Seattle just sitting there waiting on you with the pitching they got, the lineup they got. Listen, the reason why I'm taking the Dodgers over the Phillies is because I've seen the Phillies do this one too many times.
Right.
You come in, best team in the National League, you got the most wins, you hosting the playoffs at the bank, everybody's going berserko crazy. And then when it's time to really show up and prove, you got stomped out by the Mets last year. Mark Vientos turned into prime Mark McGuire. I don't know what the hell happened there, but he was
Yeah.
incredible. Lindor killed you. You know what I'm saying? So we have to ask the question, yo, What's up? Are you gonna do it? Are you not? Put your big boy pants on.
I'm going Dodgers in 5.
I don't disagree.
I'm going Dodgers in 5. And as a baseball fan, just as an outsider looking in, if this series gives me any less than 5 games, I don't think I'm
I'll
going to
be
be happy.
severely disappointed. Agreed.
Yes. Yes.
Agreed.
I need these two teams to go at it. I need the
And
rotations
and
to be what they could be.
and here
I need
is
the offenses to be what they could be, you know?
here's the thing, right? I need a moment from I need a moment from Bryce Harper in these playoffs. If the Phillies are gonna beat the Dodgers, I need a Bryce Harper Citizens Bank grand slam off of Yamamoto moment with the place losing its marbles. I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know how, but I need a moment, y'all.
Right.
Because if I don't get one, I feel like I'm cheated. Bryce is too damn good to be folding in the playoffs like this. You are too talented to have moments where we're questioning whether you are who are you supposed to be, if that makes sense. Kyle Schwarber, same thing. Regular season MVPs are cool. 55 home runs, 56 home runs, however many home runs you hit. You better have about 4 or 5 in the tuck for the Dodgers in the next year.
That's true. Yeah.
Because if you don't, it's curtains for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna I know I said I was gonna take the Dodgers, but I'm gonna amend that, right? I'll take the Dodgers if it's a 5 game series because I think just their experience of winning close, tight games is good.
Yeah.
But the Phillies got the better bullpen. The Phillies got the better rotation. The Phillies should walk into Citizens Bank on Saturday. Oh, you had to come to us? Oh, it's Red October at the bank? The Dodgers should be walking back to LA feeling like, yo, can we do this, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Can this
Well,
be
the
done?
Dodgers have announced they're going with Otani in game 1 of that series. So
Mm,
that'll be fun to watch, right?
mm.
Otani on the mound again in the playoffs.
I, can I be the party pooper and say that I hate this? I hate this. I can't stand this. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like when he hits the baseball, like little kids get sprinkled with pixie dust. There's magic that happens. It's like going to Disney World. You don't put the main attraction in Disney World out like he's a regular Carnal Barker, asking him to pitch. What's wrong with you? No. If if Shohei Ohtani pitches in any meaningful way in this series, that's a sign of trouble for the Dodgers to me. Right? Like the fact that Glass now doesn't get the start, and Glass now didn't even make the postseason. Like he didn't get in a game during the
I have a question. Because I feel like I understood what you were just saying about Otani and the Dodgers. Are you saying that if the Dodgers are banking on Otani as a starting pitcher at any point throughout these playoffs is a problem, right?
big time.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to
Big
make
time.
sure what I heard was yeah, yeah.
Because listen, Blake Snell doesn't get the ball. How does Blake Snell not get the ball?
Right. And he pitched real and listen, I know it was against the Reds, but he pitched really well the other night in his start against the Reds.
Not Blake Snell. How does
Glass now?
Glass Snell not get the ball?
Yeah, because he hasn't actually started a game yet.
That's incredible, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're going Otani over friggin'
I mean, they did say that if there were to be a game 3, and not that anybody thought it
So
was
if you're
going
just
3
doing it,
games,
no, but if you're doing it off of schedule purposes, cool.
right.
But that's kind of crazy, yo.
What if, and not that I know, but what if Otani actually wants to pitch in these playoffs?
Okay.
You
If
know?
he does,
Because one thing that we know about Otani is he's a competitor. You
I
know,
don't
whether it
disagree.
be Major League Baseball, whether it be playing for Japan in the WBC, he
Right.
wants to pitch, you know?
I don't disagree with the overall overarching point. What the point you're making is valid. He's gonna want to pitch. He's a competitor. But at this point in the season, feelings can't matter if I'm trying to win a championship. Like I can't just because you want to do something, that doesn't mean that we should acquiesce to you just because you want to do something. If Tyler Glass now gives me a better chance to keep my bullpen out of the game earlier, because the more the Phillies see that beleaguered bullpen, the better swings they're going to get off of the Dodgers bullpen. And Shohei is not going 7 innings. Glass now may get you into the sixth. He may get you into the seventh. Just from a preservation standpoint, starting Otani um, is like starting the fire before it even had to be started. You're trying to put the fire out, not become an arsonist and burn the building down.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? That's why to
Mm-hmm.
me it's like you're starting Otani, who's not going to give you much length against a team who, if they see your bullpen, it's open season, boys and girls. Like we're going to we're going to the buffet right now. At that point, my question would be, Dave Roberts, what the hell are you thinking?
Though, I think while I do understand with you, understand what you're saying, Stefan, because it's not like Otani's going into deep of any of his starts, to be honest. I
Right.
think even if he wanted to, I don't think the Dodgers would allow it.
But
But I
that's
think
why starting him just doesn't make sense to me.
I think because they have thrown so many guys into the bullpen, the fact that Otani is only probably going to give you like maybe 3, 4, 5 innings if you're lucky,
Okay, got
it
that part.
makes sense.
Got that part.
And that's the only way it makes sense to me.
But
Now, if they
what
didn't have as many options, then I'd sit here and be like, what the hell are we doing now?
well, Glass
Otani's not giving you much to begin
well,
with.
so hold on. The series would start Saturday, correct?
Right, yeah.
So they would play Sunday, and the last time Blake Snell would have pitched would have been Tuesday,
Right. That's 5 days at that point, is it?
right? Like
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. No, 4.
4 days.
Yeah.
So I guess, and I'm just trying to think along with Dave Roberts, let Shohei get the start on normal rest, bullpen game 2 on the road, take the L, right? And have your best lined up for Dodgers for the 2 games at home in Blake Snell and Yamamoto back at Dodger Stadium. If I'm managing along with him, I think game 2 is going to be a bullpen game.
You think so? So
Yeah,
then at what point do you use Glass now, though, then, right? Because
I
he's got to
mean,
come in the picture at some point.
that's a good point. That's a good point. The question
Right.
is,
Because if you don't go to him in game
so
1, then he could be your game 2
so he's
starter.
your game 2 starter. Okay. Okay. But like it's tough because
But remember, though, I just want to point this out. While I'm not disagreeing with you,
nah.
I think the important thing that we all have to remember, folks, is the Dodgers have options. Now, I know having options could be either good or
Or
bad.
bad, depending on who you talk to, how
Right.
options are used, how you go about doing it.
And
Like
I think
I get all
this
that.
series, that they have to face the Phillies in
Mhm.
is gonna be able to show whether having those options are good or bad in this case.
That's a great point. Like when you put it like that, Dave Roberts at least has multiple ways he can go. He doesn't have There's multiple ways to skin the cat. Boy, are we in for a hell of a series.
Yeah, for
Boy,
sure.
are we in for a hell of a series.
I mean, I listen. I think these playoffs. The fact that we got 3 game 3s today.
Yeah.
The Reds and Dodgers. I didn't think that was going to one anyway. So
No.
I think things have turned out to be exactly what I thought it would be so
And
far.
I'm gonna say this: we're gonna utilize the San Diego Padres for the last time on this show. Padre fans, get ready, get closer to the screen on TikTok or wherever you watching this from. Nah, y'all soft. Y'all walked into Wrigley Field. Ivy, you don't want to know how many runs they scored in 3 games? Scored 5 runs, bro, in 3 games. They lost 3-1 in game 1. They won 3-1 in game 2, right? and they lost 3-1 today. You scored 5 runs
I just
in three
I
games.
just like I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And it's not because, I didn't think things could go wrong for them. I thought exactly what happened in terms of how they lost against the Cubs,
It's
especially
crazy,
for
bro.
those of you who were here earlier this week when, we were doing the previews of the wild card round. Something that you referred to, Stefan, was like, yo, these Padres can't hit. Like, yeah, we might like the bullpen. We might like, a couple of guys coming out of the rotation for them. But outside of that, the lineup just doesn't produce. And
At all.
the unfortunate part is when you go down the list of names, it's like, damn, how'd you guys go out like that, bro?
Yo, you shared a
You
stat with
telling me a lineup that features Tatis and Manny Machado, two of the game's best, only scored 5 runs in 3 games, bro? What?
you want to hear this crazy stat? In game 1 of that series, they went 0 for 11.
Yes, right.
You want to know what they did the rest of the series? Collectively, I think they went like 3 for 24 or something like that.
Right. And I know one of those hits was the Machado home run
Home
in
run.
game 2.
Yo, fam. What else do you want AJ Preller to do at this point? I'm not even
Yeah.
joking. The dude
Mhm.
then gave you a super bullpen. He then gave you the lineup that everybody thought was gonna be that lineup. Are you
He's
kidding
been
me?
doing it for years, though. Like,
Yo,
I mean, who else needs to wear a Padres uniform?
Cronenworth,
Yo, we have seen Juan Soto wear the Padres uniform.
yeah,
We have seen Blake Snell wear a Padres uniform
it's
and
crazy,
win the
bro.
Cy Young Award.
It
We've
is
seen Josh Hader wear a Padres uniform.
it.
Like, yo, straight up, honestly, who else has to walk into San Diego to give them a chance, bro?
That's
I
kind of
don't
what it.
get it.
That's kind of what it feels like, bro. Because I'm sitting here looking at it. I'm like, hold up, yo, bro. You didn't get out of the first round last year. You got beat in the wild card this year. I think the last time you got to the championship series was 2022. You got taken out there too.
Right.
What else? What else is net? What else do you have to do?
Yeah, I'm sick and tired now, especially. I'm going to certainly keep this in mind moving forward, especially in 2026 and beyond. But
Mhm,
all this, yo, Padres bullpen this, and I don't care.
mhm.
Straight
I
up.
agree
I
with
don't
you.
care anymore. Listen, by the way, Mason Miller, shout out to him. Everyone who he faced took a seat. That was fun to watch.
Yo, his average, I told you his average velo.
You did, yeah, earlier today, yeah.
Yo, 104 was his average velo. Are you kidding me, bro?
Yeah.
Here's the kicker. You want to know the funny part? He's under club control till 2029.
Damn. It's crazy. We were looking at, the move in his
Nuts.
case going from the A's
That is
to the
nuts.
Padres, thinking like that was going to be beneficial,
Oh,
in terms of playing for a winner now, for the next few years as well. But when you look at like the current state of the Padres, you look at, how long the Padres have been trying. I want to give them some credit. They have been trying. It's not like they just stay with the same group of guys and see how far they can get with that every single year. They certainly try. But
mhm.
I think, listen, man, it's a shame that he's gonna have to waste all of that playing for a team that really isn't gonna go
And
anywhere.
the sad part is like, can we ask the real question? Does Mike Schilt and even AJ Preller get to keep their jobs past this point? Why?
Right.
You went all in and you failed, and why do you get to keep the job? Listen, I'm glad it ain't my problem.
And they held on to Dylan Cease.
Yeah,
That was a name who,
who
some
you could have
people, we talked
traded.
about it on the show before as
You
well.
could have
Yeah.
traded for some value. Now he's walking out for free. Robert Suarez is walking out for free. Michael King is leaving for free. By the way, Robert Suarez and the Seattle Mariner bullpen to go with Munoz. You want to talk about disgusting?
Crazy.
Okay,
Now
right?
that these guys, you named a couple of guys, but now that they're actually on the move, I'm not all that mad at it. Hopefully San Diego doesn't bring all of these guys back and they
You
think
can't.
wisely
No,
as
no.
opposed to just dishing out all of this money.
You can bring all the guys back. Here's why you can't. They're already having financial problems. How can you bring all of them back?
Right.
Who? It's not financially feasible,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the salary cap situation that we know we're heading for in the next year, which I'm not going to get into because I've gotten into it ad nauseum. But like, it's not it's not fiscally responsible
Yeah.
to bring
Well,
all these guys
I
back.
was saying it from the because I understand what you're saying, right? But I was saying it more from the standpoint of like with things just not working in your favor now for quite some time,
Yeah,
rather than even having conversations with some of these dudes. Like, yo,
yeah.
just it's not gonna work out in San Diego.
It doesn't
I'm
seem like
sorry to say.
it just
Just
seems like,
leave it alone.
and the team chemistry is broken too between the stuff with, like, there was nobody on the bench pumping each other up. It felt like they were just going through the motions, like it was a regular season game. There was nobody on the bench firing up the boys. Yo, we could do this. We can make this move. Nothing. And if you're sitting in that Padre dugout, gotta be a little bit, bewildered by the way you got taken out.
Yeah, and I'm sure, and not to say that the Cubs didn't have a chance at all, right? Clearly they won. But
Yeah,
I think going into that series, I think most people had the
the
Padres as the
Padres
favorite.
moving on. Yeah.
Mhm.
And they didn't. And that just goes to show you that's why playoff baseball is beautiful.
Yeah.
For everybody that wants to pound the flesh, I was wrong again. I'll admit it at the end of the show. I was wrong. I got that wrong. Let's go Yanks. You know what I'm saying? I want them to keep going. It's gonna be a fun little ride.
Right, right, right.
I will say this though. Toronto will not be easy, boys and girls. If you think this is gonna be easy 4 games, 5 games, use bugging. Hell no.
Give me 4, Yankees in 4.
You can take Yankees in 4. I will take Yankees in 4, but this is going to be the most heart attack level 4 games we've dealt since last year.
You think worse than the first 2 against Boston?
You
Yo,
know why?
those 2 games had me, and
You,
listen, not just me, I'm sure some of you guys who are watching could
well, I was
relate.
there for game 1. I damn near died.
Right, right, right.
I'm being figurative when I say I almost died, but like, yeah, because to me, Toronto presents more offensive firepower. Where after you got away from Story and you got away from Bregman, you kind of felt like you could take a deep breath. Where with the Blue Jays, once you get away from Springer and Vladdy, and you got to deal with Alejandro Kirk, you got to deal with David Schneider, you got to
Yeah,
deal with
Bobichet, yeah.
Bo if he's healthy, you got to
Mhm.
deal with the kid Addison Barger. You listen, you play around Dalton Varsho might hit one off you. You like it's they deep. They
Right.
deep. This is not
And
your
then and I don't think he makes much noise in these playoffs. I could be wrong, no, but Anthony Santander, he
he's
came
another
back
one.
at
Yo,
the end of the season, so
he's he's another one that he don't have to be the aircraft carrier that they wanted him to be when they brought him in, but he has the capability to do that, which is what scares me, right? And so like this is not going to be an easy series.
yeah.
I'm gonna preface it by saying I got the Yankees winning this series. Every series that the Yankees are in, I don't feel great about because I always see the other side where Yankee fans are like, no, we got it, we got it, we got it. I'm
I
like,
could
bro,
tell.
y'all don't watch enough baseball to act all like we got it, we got it, we got it.
Oh, speaking of that, one of my friends actually, shout out to Edwin. So, I believe it was something that I had put on my story, and he left the comment. He's an Angels fan, by the way.
Oh,
This
damn.
is a New Yorker that is an Angels fan, bro. When he first told me that, I was on some like, wait, bro. First of all, you don't hear too many people saying I'm an Angels fan, but he
Yo, being an
basically left a
Angels fan is
comment
crazy,
and
bro.
he said that the Yankees were gonna dog walk the Red Sox, and I was surprised because that was the opposite. I mean, outside of Game 3, there was no dog walking. Actually, I don't even think there was walking dogs.
No, if anything, we damn near almost got dog walked.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Listen,
I
those
mean,
first 2 games were a nail biter. Listen, whether
listen,
you were a Yankee fan or a Red Sox fan.
listen. Look, at the end of the day, it's good that they won the series, but have some respect and some cautious optimism that this all could go the wrong way,
Mhm.
right? You don't know what the next couple of days are going to be like up there in Toronto. That atmosphere is going to be electrifying. Those guys are ready to. They're probably chomping at the bit to get back out on the field. Uh, there's a couple things that we need to keep in mind before we start planning the victory and heading towards another, championship series. Toronto's not just gonna give this to you. You
Yeah.
have to take it. Right.
Also, before we go, speaking of Toronto, as the playoffs go on and as we, put these clips out on our off days, yeah, Toronto Blue Jays fans, like, show some love. Like I was telling Stefan earlier today, that's a fan base who hasn't really like said much, not only in the chat, but not even on TikTok, where we tend to get a lot of love as well.
Mhm.
It has me a little concerned because one thing that I said to Stefan was like, yo, I thought you guys had the whole country of Canada
Canada,
behind
yeah,
you.
yeah.
It
Mhm.
don't seem like that on the internet, folks, but we'll see what happens in this series
And
against the
that
Yankees.
ballpark, it damn sure does though. They be getting after it in
Oh,
Toronto,
they
boy.
get loud. They get loud. Anytime a ball leaves the yard too, that horn, that
Yeah, 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 yeah.
listen, I know how it gets.
Let
Yeah.
me ask you a question. A little fun one before we leave. If you had to guess, who Marcus Stroman rooting for in this series?
Marcus Stroman?
Yeah,
That's a good question. So I think deep down inside, Marcus Stroman is rooting for the Yankees. He's been a
I
Yankee fan his
disagree.
whole life. Now, the reason why I would think he does root for the Blue Jays is because of how things came to an end between him and the
I
Yankees.
was just about to say
Right.
Marcus Stroman is wearing his Six Flag. He might go back in full Blue Jay regalia, brother.
Yo, could you imagine? I don't think this happens, but could you imagine if like the Blue Jays invited him to throw out like the first pitch or something?
Ceremonial first pitch. Yeah.
Yo,
Oh,
that would be crazy.
looking at the Yankee dugout like, oh, y'all wanted to cut me?
Yeah.
All right,
Nah, they
King.
they they can't do that though. That has to be like some sort of conflict of interest or something.
Well, the Yankees are still paying him, so I don't think he would do it. But imagine
Yeah.
that would be funny.
Hmm.
Um,
I think we got into the each series, right? Are
that
we
was
missing one?
fun.
I don't think so. I
Nah,
think that's all of them.
we got into it, but you know what? I'm gonna play some. I don't care if YouTube flags us. YouTube, if you put the copyright on us, I don't care. I'm playing it anyway.
No, we good, bro. And listen, they not coming for us in that way in
Nah, I
terms of like
mean,
our pockets.
if you copyright this video, I don't care, but I'm playing this.
In the future, I
And that's
like that. And in the future, though, in the future, that is something that we certainly have to think twice about. But before we get there, we could play all the tunes we want.
know what I mean?
At least for
Like
now.
I know because when I last did it, you called me like, yo, I think YouTube might have hit us with a copyright and like one of those copyright things. And I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I won't
Hmm.
play it just because I don't want no smoke.
I
Listen,
didn't think they would do that for that sound effect though, bro. Like
we
songs and other things, absolutely. But I didn't think with that.
we won tonight. If you want to hit us with it, hit us with it. I played it. Show's over. I had a blast. I know you did too.
Subscribe to the channel, guys. If you're new here, if you made it this far, definitely make sure you hit that thumbs up. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram. We all over the damn place. And we'll be right back on Saturday with our
Saturday
third
night.
video of the week. Yeah.
Saturday night. It should be a blast. I can't wait. He can't either. We ain't got to go home, but we got to get the hell up out of here. So peace, y'all.